Hi again guys, welcome to Ron's Tech Hub, and in this video we're going to be looking at the file manager. As you can see on screen here, these are some of the things I want to speak about. So cut, copy, paste, delete, rename, creating office documents, snapping windows, and properties. Alright, let's get cracking. Okay, as you can see on my desktop here, I have a folder called test folder 1 and another one called test folder 2. If you watch the previous video on desktop, that will show you how to create folders, how to create shortcuts. That's what you'll be needing here. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is to open both these folders at the same time. So I'm going to double click on that one to open it. So that's clicking twice. And I'm going to double click on that one as well to open it. I'm going to move these so that they're side by side so you guys can see everything that's going on. Now the first thing I had on my checklist was to cut, right? So to do this, move your mouse over the file you want to cut, and what cut does, it will actually move it from one location to the next one. So I'm going to right click on this file. I'm going to go to cut. This is from test folder 1, and I'm going to paste that into test folder 2. Go and click on a blank white space in the folder, right click there and select paste. And as you can see, what this has done is moved it from test folder 1 to test folder 2. Now the next thing we're going to look at is copy. Now copy does something similar to cut. It moves a file from one location to another one, but it also leaves the original copy in the original location. So let's go ahead and see how that works. So I'm going to copy my YouTube intro video from test folder 1 to test folder 2. So I'm going to move my mouse over the video, right click. I'm going to select copy from the drop down list, and I'm going to go to my test folder 2, right click on any empty blank white space, and from the drop down list again, select paste. Now as you can see, the video is in test folder 1 and test folder 2, and it hasn't moved the video, it simply copied it, so it's in both locations at the same time. This is very good, a very good way if you want to back files up. So let's say you're working on your dissertation, you have a Word document that's thousands of pages long, hundreds of pages long, and you want to have a copy of it somewhere else. So just in case you make a mistake on it or you lose that file, you have it somewhere else. This is a good way to do that. We've looked at delete before in the previous videos, but just in case you want to see what it looks like again, I now have 2 copies of the same file here in the YouTube video intros. I don't want that because this takes up extra space on my PC. So to get rid of one of them, let's say from test folder 1, I move my mouse over it, I right click, and I select delete from the drop down menu, and then that is now in the recycle bin. This will be covered in this video. So let's say your file has a name which you don't like and you want to change that name. The way to do this is to move your mouse over the file you want to change the name of, right click on that file, and from the drop down list select rename. I'm going to change this to YouTube, just simply YouTube intro. And when I've finished, I simply press enter on my keyboard or return, it's the same thing, and the name is now that which I've typed in. I want to do the same thing for this Word document here that's called houses. Right click on the Word document, go down to rename, and let's call this one houses in London, for example. I'm going to press enter, and now that's the name of the. Now the last thing we're going to do in this video is check out the properties of a file. Now there are a couple ways to check out the properties. The simplest way is to click on the file individually. So for example, I've clicked on that icon there, and at the very bottom of my screen here, it tells me that I have 48 items in this folder, 1 item selected, and that. Okay, so now we're going to actually create some Microsoft Office documents without having to open the programs. I find this useful when I have to do quite a few things and I don't want to go in and create a document one at a time. I can just do them beforehand and edit them when I need them. Okay, so to do this, I'm going to go right click on an empty white space, I'm going to go down to new when this comes up from the drop down list. I'm going to select Microsoft Access Database. And as soon as I click on it, it's going to give me the option to type the new name in. Now I can say test database, and when I press enter, that name is now locked in. I'm going to go ahead and do this 2 more times, one for Word, one for Excel, and maybe one for PowerPoint as well. So right click, go down to new, choose a Word document. Let's call this one a story of my life. And again, when I press enter, the name gets locked in. I'm going to go back again, new, and select PowerPoint. And let's say work slides. Right, gonna press enter, lock this name in, and lastly, gonna do the same thing again. Go down to new, from the drop down list, select Microsoft Excel worksheet, and let's say taxes, for example, right? And I'm gonna press enter to lock the name in, and that's how we create each of those. Now we can create more things, but I think these are probably the 4 most used programs in Microsoft Office, so it made sense to do that. So one last thing to cover is the properties of a file. Now, a couple ways to see this. One way gives you a limited view, and the other way gives you a more detailed view. So let's say I'm in a folder here. I can simply click on the file, and at the very bottom it gives me one item selected, and the size of that file is 6.02 megabytes. Right? If I want to see more information, I can right click on that same file. I can go down to properties, and from there it will show me basically everything about this file, the type of file it is, the location, the size, who created it, when it was created, so on and so forth. And if you scroll through these tabs at the top, you'll see more detail as well. Thank you for watching. If you found the video useful, please like and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next one. Thanks. Bye bye.